Hello everyone. So I'm gonna try out a new format of creating videos next to the in the field videos. So this is gonna be a two camera video. And in the two camera videos I want to talk a little bit about the way I take my photos, how I take my photos and why I take my photos. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my style, also the equipment that I use, and what else? Yeah, maybe more random stuff like that. So yeah, let's jump into it. In this video I want to talk a little bit why I use DSLR cameras for my street photography. So what is a DSLR camera? A DSLR camera, I have one here. This is the Canon 5D. It's a digital camera in this case. But this is a mirror camera. What does it mean? The light comes in here. There's a mirror inside that goes through a prism, and then there's a viewfinder here that allows me to look through the lens. And if I press the shutter, the mirror goes up, and then the light or the image goes through the sensor, and then it goes down again. Because there's a mirror inside, these cameras are relatively bulky. So you might wonder, why would someone use that for street photography? So let me explain that to you. So I used to take street photography with the smaller compact cameras such as the Canon S95 and the Panasonic Micro Four Third cameras. I also once had the, what was it? Was it the Olympus? Yeah, Olympus OMD Mark 10? No. OMD 10 Mark II, really nice camera. However, what I didn't really like about those cameras is, except the Olympus, that was okay, is that they didn't really, or they don't really hold nicely in the hand. They're a bit small, and my hands are, well, not super giant, but they're quite big. So all the cameras were always a little bit slippery. And also at that time I thought that my camera needed to be a little bit, hidden or inconspicuous, because, I was still a bit, not shy, but I had a different way of approaching my subjects. So I thought for street photography it would be better if people don't really realize that you're taking a picture. Now for the last 6 months I changed that approach, so I'm not doing that kind of candid street photography anymore. I moved the other direction, and if I want to take a picture of someone I find interesting, I ask them if I can make their portrait. And also I realized by the fact that I'm walking around with a bigger camera, people don't even give much attention to me. If I take a picture of the street or whatever and they appear to be in the frame, if they approach me, I'm happy to explain what I'm doing, and if they want to, I delete the photo, no problem. But it looks, that I'm more there also to take pictures. So that makes me a little bit more established. Even so, like last week I was playing a little bit with long exposure, and there were like two friends of each other asked me if I could take their portrait with their phone. So I did that as well. I lost a little bit what I was talking about. So back to the subject, why I use a DSLR. So for a start, I discovered that I don't really mind if people notice that I take pictures. I also wanted cameras that were a little bit more comfortable to hold in my hand, because I could really easily hold this camera and explain a little bit more what this camera is later on. I can hold this in my hand, and if I see something, I can just take my camera, make the photo, and that's it. This camera is always switched on, so it just goes to sleep. I don't need to switch it on and off. And also the battery life is really good. So you might think, okay Kev, you have the camera. Which camera is that? Well, this is the Canon 5D Classic or Mark I. I bought this camera because I was on the lookout for a new camera to replace my smaller setup, like the setup I was talking about earlier on, like the Canon and the Panasonic. At that time I still was thinking to buy a small, maybe full frame camera, but they were a little bit expensive. So then at that time I was already moving away from the candid street photography. yeah, I found some YouTubers talking about the older cameras, and I thought, hey, those cameras are quite affordable. And I just bought the 5D Mark I, and I really like this camera. I like this camera so much that I was getting a little bit in an eBay madness of buying more cameras like this. So cameras from the same time or a bit later, such as the Canon 40D or 20D. So those cameras have a smaller sensor, but they still have like the same color science. And those cameras are also really affordable, and I don't need to have lots of megapixels for my work. I really like those cameras. I like the colors. I like the menus. So I'm really happy with this workflow. I also bought a Canon 450D that came with a lens that I wanted to use for my 40D for my landscape stuff. And I realized how nice and small that Canon 450D was, especially with a pancake lens. Let me show you what a pancake lens is. So this is a pancake lens for my Canon 5D. It's really small. And you also have like special pancake lenses for the crop sensor cameras, such as the Canon 40D and the 450D. And those lenses make the camera really nice and pocketable. Well, you might think, that doesn't fit in your pocket, Kev. Yeah, you're right. But I discovered Uniqlo bags. They're only like 15 pounds and they're really nice camera bags. So I always have a Uniqlo bag on me with my camera, and every day I'm able to carry a camera with me. Funny enough, when I had my smaller cameras as my street photography cameras, they were also in my pocket and I forgot about them. And the DSLRs in the Uniqlo bag, they're not really heavy, but I still feel them, so that makes me a bit more conscious that I have a camera on me. So yeah, that is my explanation on why I have DSLRs as a street camera. So if you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below, and like and subscribe.